Hello friends, we will be continuing our sessions on anti-Sicilian lines from white. In last video we have covered the Alpine variation where white can play against Sicilian. Today I'm going to show you the Smith Morra Gambit, which is another weapon in white's artillery against the Sicilian defense. So in Smith Morra Gambit, white sacrifices his pawn or at times couple of pawns to take a lead in development. So to start with, as you know, e4 and c5, this is the Sicilian defense, as you all know. Please note, Smith Morra Gambit is quite an aggressive line. So if you are a defensive player by nature, I don't recommend you to play this line. Now to show you Smith Morra Gambit here on this position, white offers a pawn at d4. Black takes it with c takes d4, and then another pawn at c3. Black takes this pawn as well, d takes c3, and then knight c3. So what is the point of sacrificing a pawn? As you can see, white now have a center control and a knight on c3 developed. So the main line of Smith Morra Gambit is to develop the bishop at c4. So let me show you. Yeah, bishop at c4 and attack on this weak f7 pawn, which is a huge weakness of the black. White also wants to develop his knight on f3 so he can castle king side. And we want to control the c and the d files by the rooks. And we aim to have very aggressive game. That's the main theme of playing Smith Morra Gambit. I'm going to show you the main line in Smith Morra Gambit. There are basically three variations which are very popular. So let's go one by one. Black can develop his knight at c6. We will bring our knight at f3 and then pawn to d6. And white is going to develop his bishop at c4. Remember, we are trying to attack on this f7 pawn and at the same time trying to castle king side. So from here, black is going to play e6, protecting the f7 pawn. We are going to castle king side. So black is going to develop his knight at c6. White can play his queen to e2. So why e2 is basically making way for the rook on the d file. Black is going to play e7, preparing castle on king side, and we bring our rook for battle at d file. Here, black can play e5, and we have couple of options here. We can develop our dark square bishop and start attacking black from this position. Another variation is called Chicago defense, in which black first play pawn to e6 after knight c3. The main reason of playing pawn to e6 is black is already aware of Smith Morra and no white is going to attack on this weak f7 pawn. Uh, so pawn push to e6, protecting f7 already. But here white can continue his bishop to c4, still attacking on this long diagonal. Here black can respond with a6 and we continue focus on our development, so knight to f3. Here black can continue for attacking on bishop, so pawn to b5. White has no option than to retreat the bishop at b3 and then pawn to d6, and then we are going to castle king side. If you look at this position, playing Smith Morra Gambit, although you are a pawn down but three of your minor pieces are already developed against all the black's pieces are at their starting positions. white has also protected his king by castling king side, so we can conclude that's a significant lead white has in development. A lot of time people playing against Smith Morra Gambit, they play very passive, and that's the advantage you can gain using Smith Morra. I think it's very hard for black to prepare against the variety of attack white has playing this line. So that's the Chicago defense. And now, if you want to play Smith Morra and want to be more aggressive, here is another variation for you. So from this position, you can bring out your bishop at c4. Mm, Yeah, from this position, you can bring out your bishop at c4 instead of capturing it uh, by the knight. Give away one more pawn and develop your bishop at b2. Here, your queen can be developed at b3 or f3 to support the bishop attack. Both the bishop are eyeing on those long diagonals, and at the same time your king can be castled king side very soon. Yes, we are down 2 pawns, but all of your pieces are going to bombard at the black's king side. um, However, I would say as you are 2 pawns down, and you may face a hard time if you're playing against a good opponent, but this line gives you a lot of options to attack if you play carefully. Let's go back and see one last variation where black can, just 1 minute. Yeah, the black can avoid all the gambits and deny to capture any pawns from this position. So from this position, either black can bring out his knight at f6, basically focusing on the development. Here you can push your pawn to e5, and then when knight comes to d5, you can capture this pawn by the pawn. So c takes d4. So so as you see, you're controlling the center here, and all of your pieces are very natural to develop. So bishop can be developed at c4. This dark square bishop can also be developed. The queen can also be developed. Same goes for the knight. However, if you look at the black's position, a part of this knight, all of the pieces are in a very cramped position, and it will take a long time for them to develop. Another thing to look back, instead of knight f6, yeah, instead of knight f6, and push the pawn to b3, d3, which of course you can capture it by queen, where queen takes d3. Either way, black will be completely out from the Sicilian lines he used to play. Um, so I would suggest Smith Morra is a great anti-Sicilian line where you can bring your opponent out from his comfort zone. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Do let me know by comments, and don't forget to subscribe this channel and like this video. Thank you. Till then, take care. Bye bye.